你好吗?
Hello.
Like, and we're like, we just said that.
Key phrases. E, R.
Sideway.
Welcome back to Crispy Life. I'm P.
I'm Chris.
And together we are
Crispy Life. So in this video, we want to be able to give you some key phrases for when you take a trip to China to help you get around and find what you need to find without coming up against any difficulties in the language barrier that's there.
If you haven't already seen our blogs of where we went in China, where to go, the must-see places, the amazing places, please watch part 1 and part 2.
That link up there.
The link up here.
But before that, just want to give you a few examples of what we came across in the language barrier in travelling through China.
Now, travelling to China was a huge challenge. It actually puts lots of people off from going to China. You meet travellers and they'll say, I hated it because, like, how did you get by? How did you get by and travel through China without any Mandarin at all? There were times where we wanted to cry because of the difficulties. Nobody understood us, people were laughing at us, and
you just like that feeling of being lost, like there's no one else to talk to. Thankfully, obviously, we had ourselves to talk to, but when you want to get from A to B or something, or find out some information and you're struggling,
it's not easy.
Those were the worst times.
No, it was difficult. It was very, very difficult. But, like, we came armed. Before we went to China, we spent around 4 weeks, like, off and on, like, trying to learn Mandarin. So that helped us. And don't get us wrong, there was times whereby, like I said, we encountered those difficulties. One of the difficulties, for example, was pronouncing, like, names of places.
Zhangjia Jie. They look at you weird and then you're like, Zhangjia Jie. And they're just staring at you, and then sort of like the penny drops and they're like, Zhangjia Jie. And we're like, we just said that. And another word would be my. So it's quite a tonal language, Mandarin anyway. So my, the word is buy and sell dependent on the way that you say it. So my is sell and my is buy. And you have to get it right, the spell is exactly the same.
Mad.
But you have to get it right.
Mad. And I think that was really difficult for me as a pescatarian. Trying to order food was a nightmare. I couldn't even say meat in Mandarin.
It's spelled R-O-U, but you pronounce it as roll.
Roll. And I would always say it and I'd be like, roll. And they wouldn't understand me and they'd be like, Chris, say it. And they understood you.
You have to like
roll.
Change your tongue kind of formation when you're saying it, so it's like roll.
Yeah.
And they understood what I said anyway, so we got there in the end with it.
One thing that we learned in China is that, like, this sounds really bad, but some Chinese people just don't have patience. So would be at like a train station and trying to say, I want to go to a certain place, I want to go to Guilin, for example, and like if you couldn't say it, literally shooed you out of the way and got the next person up. So we were stood there like, no, we want to buy tickets, like, please help us.
That was frustrating because you just stood at the side of the queue thinking, so are we gonna get served? Is she waiting for someone that speaks English or whatever? And you just have to find your way back into the queue and try again.
Right, so let's start off with these useful key phrases.
Ni hao, it's pretty straightforward, is hello, or you can switch it up and say ni hao ma, which is how are you doing, or how are you. Goodbye, which is zai jian, or thank you, which is xie xie.
The next thing is numbers. Now, the Chinese Mandarin number system is so different to like how we count in English. Like for the number 1 to 5 is very straightforward, and they use the hands also to count. So number 5 is how we would use it at home, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, things switched up a little when you go from 6 to 10. So 1 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Smashed it. So 6 to 10 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you notice that it's all just counted on the one hand. It makes it easier kind of numbers to count. I find it easier once you learn it, easier than learning, say, English numbers, sorry.
It was very, very easy to learn the number system. It was just getting used to the whole hand system. Like initially someone was like this to us and was like what do they mean? Whack it? Like we're just asking how much is something and they're doing this to us.
And we're asking like, can we get 7? Can we get 7? And that doesn't mean anything to them. You have to use like the whole hand movements.
Also, we also had to learn directions when traveling to China. So for example, like left would be zuo, right would be yo. front would be xian, back would be ho.
Other words, so if someone was telling you just to go straight, it would be yi zhe. And if someone was telling you to walk to the end of a street or to go to the end of somewhere, it would be sai wei. And if they'd be telling you to go round a corner, then it would be zai guai jiu. So obviously we're not fluent in Mandarin, but these words, once we said it a few times, the locals knew what we was on about.
Yeah, we got by, so they were very, very useful. Also, for example, we had to say like where is something, so that would be zainali, zainali. Or I want to go somewhere, for example, so that would be woxiangchu. On top of that, it'd be useful for you to know like certain places, like the places that we found really, really useful was like the ticket office, Shoupiaochu, or the tourist information desk, which is Luyo Zuchihai.
So another important place that was worth learning is toilet, because you always need to know where the toilet is. It's a difficult word, but it's seswo, and sometimes you'd have to say it about 10 times for someone to know what you're saying. Seswo.
Now, our experience of toilets in China gave us a huge culture shock. Now, if you haven't already seen that video, there's a link up here for the culture shock that we experienced in China when it covers toilets. The final tips that we want to give you is ordering, like I don't want, that would be buyao. And that term is so useful in China.
Very useful.
People on the street will be trying to sell you things all the time, and it's so easy to go buyao, and like people understood us. They were quite shocked. They would laugh and they were like, how do you know Mandarin? You might want to say I don't eat meat, which would be wo bu qi rao.
Yeah, or if you wanted to pay the bill, it would be wo mai dan.
Or if you just want to say I'll have, it would be wu yao.
And these words are really good words to use when you're eating out at a restaurant.
If you come across something and it's too expensive, in which case you would say bu huo swan. Bu huo swan. So that's it. That covers our language barriers, the difficulties we encountered trying to speak Mandarin, and all the key useful phrases that we found difficult and you may find difficult, or you may just find completely entertaining, hilarious hearing two Manx, two English people speaking Mandarin. Or trying to.
Yeah, trying to. And also we just wanted to show, like, whilst we was travelling out there, or before we was travelling, we'd had a little notebook here.
So this is the actual learning materials that we used when we were in another country preparing to travel to China. The Mandarin phrases that would help us get by.
And in addition to that notebook, we also made use of Google Translate app, and also there's a really good English to Mandarin app called Pleco, and those were lifesavers when we was out there. So I'd recommend, if you're traveling to China, to get those apps as well. Yeah. Okay, and until then, we'll see you next time. Don't forget to hit subscribe, press that bell so you get the notifications for when we drop a new video. New videos are out every Monday and Friday, and that's it. So that's bye for now.
再见。
再见。
Monster, 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 monster.